We're continuing our discussion of the Web Summit with Andrew, whose startup was featured at one of the booths yesterday. And now we're going to talk about how yesterday went, what the actual benefit is of having your company at the Web Summit. Did you manage to talk with investors and make any agreements for the future? So, Andrew, tell me, in short, how did yesterday go? I mean, how did it all start and how did it end? Just your brief impressions.
It all started with us arriving at the Web Summit and setting up at our booth. We unpack our laptops and start waiting for visitors. But we weren't just waiting for them. We knew they were coming because we had already scheduled a lot of meetings.
Were these potential clients who were interested in your business?
Both clients and investors. So a month before the start of the event, we started, when you buy a ticket, you get access to the Web Summit app, and you get access to all the contacts, everyone who will be at the Web Summit.
Is that emails or do you interact through the app?
Through the app, yes. There are some nuances. At first, you don't see their emails, but you can connect with them. And if they see you're a good fit, they grant you access, and then you get access to their emails. And we set up a very complex, serious outreach funnel for our potential clients and investors. Through LinkedIn, through the app, through email. I mean, we had a whole team working on it, including the AI agent team. And it paid off. All day yesterday, people were coming to us and we were talking with both investors and potential clients. So I think the team was very productive.
What do you think of the robotics on display, since we've just walked up to a robot like this?
I think in about 10 years, we won't have jobs, so you need to launch a startup now. I highly recommend it.
Okay. How long did it take your team to prepare for all those meetings that were organized throughout the day yesterday?
Well, since this isn't our first time at Web Summit, there were three people working on the preparation. But that doesn't mean one person can't do it. It's just that we already have clients and investors that are interesting to us. But if you're just starting out, you can do it yourself. One person starting a month out can prepare and line up meetings, schedule them so that all 3 days are productive.
So, am I right in thinking that just being present at your booth isn't enough to get the maximum effect from it? It's not enough.
I think you've seen that there are people who just stand at their booth and no one approaches them. And that happens very often when people come for the first time to participate in Web Summit. They come unprepared and then they get disappointed. And there are a lot of negative reviews saying that Web Summit is useless because no one approaches them, no one is interested.
Well, I also saw that the people who do approach are just those who came to the exhibition to look around, to talk, so there's potentially no benefit from them for the company presenting the startup.
Yes. We also had many people approach us who weren't the ones we had scheduled meetings with. There were some interesting potential clients and investors, but most of the time it's just people who are curious.
Just browsing, yes.
And what's important to understand here is that when they approach you, they take up your time, and then the really potential interesting clients can't get to you. So it's important to identify them in time and after a couple of minutes, thank them to free up the booth.
During the discussion of your project at your booth, I asked a question about where to find investors here. Did you manage to talk with potential investors, and how did you organize those meetings?
Yes, with all the investors, we arranged things in advance. A few approached us during the event, but that's more of an exception. With all the investors, all the meetings, they happened on the first day when we didn't even have a booth, and on the second day they came to our booth, and even today we still have meetings with potential investors. How does it work? You either agree to meet somewhere on the grounds. There are meeting points here, you can show them, these big signs, and it's immediately clear to everyone where to go in each hall. Or there's an investor area where an investor invites you. A startup or just any person can't just go there. You have to be invited. And that's where all the discussions happen.
Yes, there's a separate VIP lounge, a VIP zone where the top investors are. And there's also, I think, a premium, if I'm not mistaken,
A platinum.
a platinum investor lounge. I understand that's also where meetings with.
Yes, it's the same story. You have to be invited by the investors, so you can't, that's why I say you need to prepare. You can't just run around and find, grab an investor by the arm. Most likely he's on his way to another meeting with another startup.
Yes, because their time is also limited.
Time's limited.
And they are also interested in discussing.
And them, just like us, we arranged this meeting a long time ago.
Okay. You've already had discussions with investors. When approximately can you expect some kind of decision from them regarding a potential investment in your company?
Most of the time at Web Summit, you'll have 5, 10, 15 minutes to talk with an investor. And the goal right now is to get them interested in the next step, right? And so far, it seems everyone we've talked to is ready to continue the conversation. So what does that look like next? Next, there are various stages of detailed interviews. It's called due diligence. They research your startup, what stage you're at, if you have sales, what's going on technically. They study the team. And then they make a decision on whether they're ready to invest or not and make you an offer. As for getting an offer right away, we did have one group yesterday that gave us an offer on the spot, but it was the kind of offer you definitely wouldn't like.
Something like, we'll take 90% of your business.
Well, something like that. Or another group came with a proposal. We have a group of angel investors. We're all chipping in 5,000 and we'll bring you $50,000. And that will bring you more headaches than actual investment.
Yes, as we discussed, it's better to find the initial investment yourself.
Yes.
So the initial stage. Tell me, some startups deliver brief presentations on certain stages in some pavilions, typically lasting a few minutes, and then they answer questions from a small panel. Did you do such a presentation, or is it selective, meaning not for all startups?
It's selective and we didn't make it in time. We applied a month ago. We launched our startup 2 months ago and applied a month ago. We didn't have time to apply for these presentation programs. But if you do it a couple of months in advance, or at least half a year before Web Summit, you'll have a chance to participate. If you can get the jury interested and present, that's very useful because a large number of investors see you at once, right? But you need to apply at least half a year in advance to be considered and selected.
Yes, and at such events, in addition to the panel or the jury, which usually consists of 4 people, there is also a large audience present in the venue.
Of interested investors.
Yes, all such presentations are recorded and are later available for public access or for investors to access.
Yes, I think that's one of the most useful things about Web Summit. You can also be selected. For example, we were selected, but we didn't make it in time for these presentations. We were selected and they show us somewhere on the screens. They also feature very interesting startups for Web Summit. They can display them on the screens. And there are also startup catalogs, like Impactful Startup. We were selected for that too, and we're featured somewhere on their website.
Please tell me, because I am genuinely curious. As I have seen some startups and new businesses that have already managed to grow and develop to a very good, stable, and impressive income level, all without the need for significant outside investment or external funding. What do you think are the main factors or reasons that can contribute to such rapid and remarkable growth of a startup, especially in cases where investor involvement or financial backing from outside parties isn't needed at all, meaning the original founders are able to retain full and complete ownership and control of the company, business, or organization? And how often is it possible to achieve tangible results without investment?
It's a very common, no, it's not an exception. It's a very common story. The most important thing here is to know how to sell your product. If someone on your team or you yourself know how to sell, if you're in B2C to the end consumer, then that's one thing. You need to be able to, for example, attract people through social media and create your own personal brand. I think Bogdan will teach you much more here than I can. Or it's a B2B story when you need to be able to sell a company. Also, if you have a great B2B sales team, you don't have to, and your average bill is, for example, $1,000 or $5,000 per sale, then you can, in principle, break even on your own. A startup needs investments in those cases. That is, I would even advise this. If you can sell a lot at once and you have a lot of demand there and you see what you're selling, and in principle, it is enough for you to grow gradually, then you don't necessarily need to attract investments. Investments are often attracted when you want to grow very quickly and you already see competitors in the market who have a lot of money. You know that you can compete, but you need money, for example, for sales, for the process, for marketing.
Yes, that is here. In essence, the need for a compromise arises. That is, either you grow slowly, but at the same time, your competitors can and most likely will overtake you, or you attract investment in order to grow faster. Again, if the environment in which the company operates is highly competitive. Yes, that's absolutely right. But if you have a more niche company where there is less competition, then the likelihood of achieving success without investment, I think, is higher.
Yes, sure. You can always find your own very narrow niche. For example, I have a brother. We talked recently. He is into volleyball. You are also into volleyball. He came to me and said, I have an idea to create an app for volleyball tournament organizers so they can keep records. There's no such thing. Everything's normally done in Excel. I haven't studied the topic, but I think it's very easy to find something for these niches without investors. Simply because you have a network, you can immediately introduce yourself to these people, offer something. Maybe you're an expert in this and you don't even need investments. If you can sell it through your network, then why not?
Okay, thank you. What are the plans for today, the last day of the conference?
There are still a few meetings today, and we will mainly be studying competitors. Now we are visiting other stands. Today we have a little time. We study what everyone offers in order to understand how to compete with them.
Yes, that is absolutely the right approach. It is always useful to highlight information from the outside, because you don't always have complete information about your niche.
Of course, and often people have rose-colored glasses and think they are unique.
What is the best product?
Their product, maybe they have precisely the same product on the stand next to them.
Because we just walked past the booths dedicated to AI. And the company descriptions there are very similar.
Yes.
It's an AI agent, but in different fields. In this field, in that field, solving these kinds of problems.
They can even be in the same field. I was just walking around. I was interested in HR and education and AI, and there are so many identical descriptions. It feels like they were generated with the same ChatGPT model.
So what do you think is there potential for growth for such companies if they're essentially doing the same thing? After all, the uniqueness, the individuality of the project is important.
Yes, but I would even say what's important is the ability and desire of the founders to break through walls. Because many, I think I said this yesterday, many startups just give up. They run into some difficulties and quit because, for example, they couldn't find an investor right away or couldn't make a sale on the first try. And they quit but another person will go to 100 investors, get a no, and the 101st will say yes. They'll get a no from 100 clients and get a yes from the 101st. And they'll make the sale. And right now, that is much more important than uniqueness, than some technological advantage. That will be much more important.
So the main thing is persistence, not giving up, and
believing that you can and breaking through.
And studying your competitors and developing your project.
Yes, of course, studying competitors and developing your project. So there is some uniqueness, because otherwise it's not clear to clients why they should buy from you.
All right, Andrew, thank you. I wish you success in developing your project and a successful conclusion to the exhibition.
Thank you. All the best.